Hello children, today we are going to study the subject science. Lesson number 1 of science is reproduction in plant, part 1. This is part 1 of the 2-part video series. Let us look at the introduction. What is reproduction? Reproduction is an important characteristic of all living beings. It helps living beings to produce their own kind. Animals give birth to their young ones in many ways. Dogs give birth to puppies, and cat gives birth to little kittens, whereas hens and ducks lay eggs. Small chicks hatch out of the egg after a few days. Plants also reproduce in many ways. The different ways in which a plant reproduces are from seeds, from spores, and from different parts of the plant. Let us look at new plants produced from seeds. Plants, they bear flowers, and flowers develop into fruits. And fruits contain seeds inside them. Some fruits have one seed, some fruits have few seeds, and some fruits have many seeds. Now you know where do we get the seeds from? A mango has only one seed. An apple has few seeds. And a papaya has many seeds. Let us look at the structure of a seed. A seed is of two types on the basis of its structure. The first one is monocotyledons or monocots. For example, maize, wheat, rice, etc. And the second one is dicotyledons or dicots. For example, grams, beans, etc. Cotyledons, they store food for baby plants. The embryo within the cotyledons has a shoot which grows out of the ground and a root which spreads under the ground. Let us look at this figure. It is a figure of a seed. You have down there the cotyledons, and then you have the seed coat, and within the cotyledons you have the embryo. The seed coat is the outer covering of the seed which protects the cotyledon and the embryo. This is another figure which differentiates between a monocot seed and a dicot seed. Both has the same structure. The outer seed coat. Inside we find the embryo which develops into the shoot and the root of the plant, and then the seed leaf which is basically cotyledons. In monocots there is only one leaf of cotyledons, but in dicot seeds there are two leaves of cotyledons. Now let us look at seed germination. What is seed germination? The growing of a plant from a seed is called germination. Remember, the growing of a plant from a seed is called germination. A seed needs good soil which is rich in nutrients. It needs air to breathe, warmth to make the seed active, water to soften the food inside, and also the seed coat so that the baby plant can break open the seed coat and come out. Unless and until the seed coat is softened by the water, the baby plant will never be able to break open the seed coat and come out. Let us engage ourselves into an activity. something that I want you all to do at home. Take 3 open glass containers or beakers. In the first one, keep a few seeds on dry cotton wool. In the second beaker, keep a few seeds over wet cotton wool. Ensure that the cotton wool does not dry up. That means you have to keep that cotton wool wet by putting drops of water into it occasionally. In the third beaker, keep a few seeds completely submerged inside the water. Observe the seeds for a day or two. In which container did you find the seeds germinate into plants? This is something that you have to find out. Right? Let us look at the various ways in which the seeds get dispersed. Dispersal of seed. The process of spreading seeds to different places, generally away from the parent plant, where it may not get the necessary amount of sunlight and nutrient from the soil, is called dispersal of seed. The seed has got to be dispersed away from the parent plant, because if it falls down underneath the parent plant, it will not get the necessary amount of sunlight and nutrient. So, what is dispersal of seed? The process of spreading seeds to different places is called dispersal of seed. It has to be always away from the parent plant. Agents of dispersal are, the first one is wind. Seeds which are light and have hair or wings, for example maple, cotton, etc., are carried away by the wind to different places where they get submerged into the soil and develop into a new plant. Then we have water. Fruits that have hard but light and waterproof covering, for example coconut, lotus, etc. As we all know, coconuts, they grow on the banks of river or in coastal areas besides water bodies. So when a coconut from the coconut tree falls down into the water, it is carried away by the water to different places where again it reaches some another bank and gets submerged into the soil, and a new plant grows from that coconut tree. Animals. Some seeds have hooks or spines which stick to the body of animals. For example, cocklebur and xanthium. And then the last one is explosion. Some seeds like lady's finger, pea and poppy disperse their seeds by exploding. Now let us look at new plants from spores. Some plants like ferns, mosses and mushrooms produce tiny powder-like reproductive bodies called spores. Let me repeat that. Some plants like ferns, mosses and mushrooms produce tiny powder-like reproductive bodies called spores. New plants grow from these spores. Examples are spores of ferns, as we have seen, and then mushrooms and mosses growing on a tree trunk. Let us look at new plants from other parts of the plants. The first one is stem. Plants like rose, hibiscus, cactus, bougainvillea and sugarcane can be grown by planting a stem into the soil. Potatoes and ginger are underground stems. They have buds all over them, which makes them grow. The second one is roots. Plants like sweet potato and dahlia develop from buds present in their roots. And then we have the budding bryophyllum. Leaves of bryophyllum gives rise to new plants from buds present on their margins. That's all for today. Let us look at the homework. Write these lecture notes in your notebooks. अपनी notebooks में इन lecture notes को आप बड़ी सफाई के साथ में लिखें. Read, understand and learn the different topics given in the notes. इस नोट में दिए गए विभिन्न विषयों को आप पढ़ें, समझें और याद करने की कोशिश करें. For better understanding if possible, watch the YouTube video on germination of seed on the link that is given below. So that's all for now. Wait for another video in which we will have the rest of the chapter discussed and the question answer resolved. Till then, goodbye and stay safe.